Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So earlier today MCOC Journal posted a video about all of these Doombots kind of like broken down and their abilities, and then some kind soul made all of these graphics illustrating which champion special attacks they are using and basic gist of their abilities. And so I'm not even gonna try and pretend that I am currently in the know and remembering what are the abilities of the sentinel drones and other symbiotes, so on and so forth. But for the sake of spreading out information and making sure that everybody who will be facing these guys is prepared, and once again, it doesn't really affect you if you're playing map 7 and 6 as well, I believe. I don't think they have these bots at 6, but if you're playing maps 5 and below, then definitely these opponents will be something you see yourself up against daily. And we might as well kind of like break them down a bit, perhaps find a couple of decent counters for them, so on and so forth. So either way, first one, Mystic Doombot. Awakened ability, special attacks have 100% chance to steal 75% of opponent's current power. Don't get hit, nothing to worry about from awakened ability. Immune to all Incinerate, Cold Snap, Frostbite and Shock effects. Okay, that's useful to know. Gains regular power over time, so he doesn't probably get the power as normal champions do. A quick note, none of these bots have level 3 active as basically always, so keep that in mind. Also, when fighting with class advantage, and this is a common ability across all of these Doombots. When fighting with class advantage, plus 40% ability accuracy, more block damage, begins the fight with half a bar power. And that is whenever you enter the fight with class disadvantage. So class relationship is probably going to be something you do want to keep in mind when facing these guys. Okay, so each buff on the opponent has 50% chance to be nullified and converted into passive degen, dealing damage over 10 seconds. So do not buff. You do not want to use champions that buff, and that is quite simple, but keep in mind that dexterity is also a buff, so it might be a bit tricky to deal with these guys. And yeah, dexterity would kind of count as a buff that can get nullified, I believe. Special attacks have 100% chance to pause all opponents' passive degen effects for 5 seconds. This can trigger through block if having class advantage. And that's perfectly fine. Don't get hit by special attacks and you're cool. Heavy attack animation on this guy is from Hood, just so you know, so it's relatively simple and known one. Level 1 is again Hood, so you can just outrange it. It's going to be a bunch of beams and lightning, kind of like Emperor from Star Wars. So nothing too tricky there. And level 2 is Morningstar. Ideally, you don't really want to push this guy to level 2, obviously, because you can always mess up that evade. But if you have to, then it's also perfectly avoidable, nothing too tricky. Let's move on. Science Doombot. Awakened ability. 100% chance to inflict Petrified debuff for 20 seconds, reducing the potency of power gain and regeneration effects by 40%. That's interesting. It doesn't really say how they inflicted, but hey, fair enough. Immune to poison, nullify, fate seal, and stagger effects. Okay, so you can't poison him and you can't fate seal or stagger this guy. Fine. When fighting with class advantage, so this is the common ability, I'm not going to read it out anymore. When struck by non-critical hit, 40% chance to inflict one of the following debuffs for 14 seconds. Slow, weakness, fatigue, armor break. So this is going to be the bot where you can heal up, because all of these debuffs are non-damaging debuffs. So whenever you will have somebody in low health, if you have willpower active, this is going to be the bot that is kind of blessing in this disguise, because you will be able to recover a lot of health thanks to these bots. It's kind of like ever so old trick in AQs, I suppose. And yeah, so once 100% chance to gain an indefinite fury buff when activating a special attack. That's fine. So he has a buff to nullify if you must. Special attack, 75% chance to stun for 2.5 seconds. Don't get hit by them. Simple. Heavy attack, Sentry. So heavy attack is Sentry's animation. Again, nothing too difficult. Electro level 1 and Quake special 2. So both of them, again, relatively easy and are able to be outranged. As always, just like against Electro, if you are baiting out level 1s, it's probably wisest to finish with a 4-hit combo, leaving yourself a bit more time to get back out of the range. But other than that, this probably will be the good Doombot, the Doombot that everybody's happy to see. And now let's move on to the Tech 1. Now Tech 1, awakened ability. Opponent inflicted with heal block debuff for 20 seconds at the start of the fight, granting a small trickle of power. That's fine, so you're gonna start with heal block. So this is the guy that suicide players will hate unless you have like some specific, obviously perfect champions and counters for that. You can start with heal block. Immune to bleed and poison. Okay, fair enough, like a robotic dude. So that's a good thing that vast majority of them don't have bleed and poison immunity. So that's definitely good change up from the robots and from sentinels. When fighting with class advantage, that is the old ability for everybody. Gain an indefinite armor up buff if removed, returned after 9 seconds. So his consistent armor up. When attacked, 10% chance to inflict a shock debuff for 8 seconds if opponent has 2 or fewer buffs. So you want to use champions that do how many buffs, or you want to use a shock immune ideally, or probably someone like Silver Surfer would work out quite well as well, or I don't know, Ghost. So basically you won't have a lot of buffs, or you won't have shock immunity. So these guys are getting a bit trickier, and you want to be prepared for them to a degree. The opponent suffers minus 50% offensive ability accuracy during their special attacks, so this is kind of like a She-Hulk ability against mutants. So you have to be careful with your special attacks because your abilities might not trigger. That is actually much more annoying ability than it initially seems. Special attack beam attacks have 100% chance to drain 50% power bar. This can trigger through block. The potency of this power drain is reduced by 10% for each buff on opponent. Don't get hit by beam attacks or you lose your power. Simple. Heavy attack animations from Punisher 2099. Level 1 is from Iron Patriot, so it's not too difficult to evade. Level 2 is from Hulkbuster, and that one is difficult to evade. So you most certainly do not want to be baiting out the level 2s, because you're going to take quite a bit of block damage, I assume, and lose majority of your power thanks to that. So level 1 strictly on this guy. Suicides is a no-no for most part, unless you're using like immune champions and stuff. And yeah, it's quite annoying, I guess. Cosmic Doombot. Awakened ability starts with a True Strike buff for 16 seconds. So 16 seconds and only then you can evade, so need to keep that in mind. Other than that, it expires and then you can carry on as normal, so you can still use your whatever champions that would be hindered by True Strike. Immune to all power drain, power burn effects, and armor break debuffs. Okay, cool. Can't power control the guy. When fighting with class advantage, not gonna read that one. When struck and blocking attacks, 20% chance to gain buffs for 10 seconds. Fury, armor up, precision, power flood, prowess, cruelty. So he's gonna be gaining loads of buffs, so Mystic champions are gonna have some feast here. Special attacks gain attack based on how long the fight has gone on. Whatever. Heavy attack from the champion. Level 1 from the champion and level 2 from Hyperion, so all of them easy to evade. So this is likely going to be pretty much the easiest bot to deal with in like an average fight. You can bring in any Mystic champion that, well, pretty much all of them gain some sort of effects from nullifying opponent's buffs. Or yeah, a special attack's easy to evade, nothing tricky here at all. And Mutant 1. Awakened ability, unblockable special attacks. Cool. Somewhat annoying. Immune to bleed, ability accuracy modification, gain a regeneration buff for 8 seconds whenever receive a bleed debuff. So don't bleed or he's gonna regen a lot. So fairly straightforward. When struck by critical hits, minus 25% attack rating. Each critical hit has 25% chance to gain indefinite prowess buff, increasing special attack by 35%. Kind of annoying, but I don't suspect it's gonna make too much of a difference in like an average fight. You're gonna lose some attack rating, and yeah, and they're gonna get some prowess. So as long as you don't make major mistake and get hit, it won't matter too much. Or if you do get hit, it's likely to punish you fairly heavily. 20% of power gained back if special attack does not land a clean hit. So it's a bit of like a power reserve inbuilt node, so shouldn't be anything too bad. Level 1 is Iceman, level 2 is Mr. Sinston. No, these can probably catch some people. I know Iceman, especially how his animations work, definitely catches up many people at level 1. And since there's level 2, at least for me personally, is not the easiest one to fully evade, kind of like bishops. So they are quite annoying. Overall, I think he's also somewhat annoying, I guess. But again, I don't really know how annoying are the current bots. So by the looks of it, they don't seem to be anything overly complicated and tricky. And the last one is going to be Skill Doombot. Awakened ability, basic attacks cost 50% defensive ability accuracy. Gain 5 hits on combo meter whenever debuff expires. Cool. So he's going to have some combo meter abilities. Debuff suffer minus 40% duration. That will be annoying. So it's kind of like a mini rogue or, I don't know, Groot. Basic attacks gives additional critical hit rating, cannot miss or be evaded. Now that is annoying. That's kind of like an inbuilt true strike or true accuracy. And yeah, not great. Gains an indefinite passive combo shield, granting more attack rating per hit on its combo meter, so he has Star-Lord like ability, which is fair enough. Shouldn't be anything too tricky because his combo meter shouldn't go up that drastically. And yeah, what else? Special 1 has 33% to inflict bleed, special 2 has 100% to inflict bleed. Okay, so specials bleed him. Heavy attacks from Agent Venom. Now that is actually a bit deceiving, heavy attack, because he kind of like slows down and speeds up in the animation, and the reach, it's always fairly tricky to figure out the reach of that one. I'm not a fan of countering that heavy attack, so there's that. Level 1 is A-Gun, so once again kind of like Star Wars Emperor lightning strike thingy, so it shouldn't be anything too annoying. Level 2 is Karnak. It's a projectile, but it's relatively simple single projectile to evade, so overall nothing too much to worry about. Once again, a quick reminder, I think we're done here with the next ones, right? Yeah. That will pretty much do for them. Overall, they do seem like perfectly doable. Science 1 is the one that you can heal up on. Cosmic 1 I think is going to be fairly straightforward one. Mystic 1 didn't seem too tricky. Skill and Mutant ones are probably going to be more annoying, kind of like for an average fight. And then the Tech 1 can be relatively annoying if you are running suicides and not using immune champions due to that heal block and stuff. But all in all, I hope this video has helped some of you. I just wanted to spread around the information to make sure that each and every one of you are aware of the changes of the AQ, and these are going to be your new botted opponents. So you're not going to have Sentinel drones, you're not going to have symbiotes, you're not going to have adaptoids, or whatever else we have in game currently. You're going to have these guys, so study up on them, make sure you know who your counters are going to be, and yeah, hopefully you all manage to deal with them extremely well starting from week 1. There's no kind of like major increase in your item usage whilst you're transitioning and getting used to these guys. That's why it's always good to get ahead of the problem and study up on the issue before it comes. And besides, everybody is on lockdown anyway, so what better things you have to do. Whatever. Anyways, I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys have locked yourself down well, and you're doing everything as you should be doing. All the best to you, and that will do for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.